Oh, sorry.
Sitting in your baby chair?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry, it's Tuesday. I love your whatever is going on with your camera. It's like I see bokeh, like it's very
Oh,
nice.
it's StreamYard.
That's for field. Very nice. Is
Yes.
that a feature on StreamYard? How do I activate that? It's nice.
It's in the camera mic thing.
Is it?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Let me see here. Julie, Heather. Hello, now on Beauty. Jasmine, Cindy.
Oh, I like that.
Debbie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, June, Camille, Karen. Sorry you missed us. I know you're moving, so that's always so stressful.
Who's
Good
moving?
luck. Karen is moving. I think you are the right Karen, right, Karen? Hey, Lynn. Yes, I want to activate it. Okay. Help me out here. Okay. Guys, I need to activate this is like technical issue.
Welcome, everybody. So today, I think we're wrapping up Valentine's Day today. What do you think? Are we pretty much?
Well, I'm not decorating Valentine's Day.
Oh, you're not? Well, I'm wrapping it up. Then Hans moved on, and I'm wrapping it up.
I completely. Well, I guess you could use it for Valentine's Day. I mean, there is no. I mean, you could give flowers for Valentine's Day. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that, right?
Hello, Sally. Hello, Susan, Brenda. Welcome, everybody. Mary Lynn, welcome.
Called in UK.
I was actually surprised that Valentine's Day is not the holiday that the most flowers are sent.
Easter?
No, it's a holiday that, like if you think about it after I'm going to say it, you're going to be like, does anybody know?
Hold on. It's about the Mother's Day?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so not Valentine. Well, I guess people buy chocolates and other things.
Well, no, not everybody has a sweetheart, but everybody has a mother.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
You look at it that way, right?
Yes.
That's great. Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Yes.
Hello, Rose. So are you going to kick it off today?
Do you want me to?
Let's put you in the hot seat. Go.
Okay, I can do it then. I mean, if you do you not want to go first?
Well, I mean, I just went first. We just did a pre-recording for you guys for March.
Right.
And so we're in it.
All right, guys. So as Marlon or I have, um,
You get nothing. Sally, you need to demand the flowers.
I'm not a mother either, but I get flowers myself.
That's,
That's what
that's
you know. That's how pathetic that is.
no, it's not. It's just a little fact. Everybody deserves flowers. It's just that's the day where the
So
most people.
so today I'll start by making some. So I have here several bags of these colors. Okay, I'm just curious. I'm making flowers, okay? So if anyone, do you guys have any guesses what kind of flowers am I going to be working on? I'm just going to prepare some of the things here, my parchment squares. What
I'm
is it?
guessing fantasy flower.
No, this is an actual real flower I had in the garden, and I absolutely love them. They usually bloom around June time. It's a very bushy
Bushy.
flower. No, these are the colors. So you see the it's like kind of marbled blue. No, pinks, some purplish. No, I don't think you're gonna get it. No, I don't see it. So we're going to make hydrangeas. Yes,
Your
yes, exactly. So I
Linda.
had actually made hydrangea cookies years ago, but this is a different. I wanted to actually pipe these. So what I did, I created different pouches with different kind of colors. This is more marble, pink, white, and blue. And as you know, pink and blue will combine, will create like purple-ish. So I wanted to try like see how that would work. So I've got some here, and I didn't really care for this one. So then I changed it to blue and white. So I'm gonna show you how to make blue and white. I already have some made, but just to show you, you're
So
also going to need a
just
flower
to
nail.
interrupt you, Han. So Melanie, you're asking about the recipes. You can visit Han's blog. I just put it on the screen there. Let me. It's right
No,
there.
but now you really cannot get colored royal icing anywhere, Melanie. When you make royal icing, it's going to be white. Okay, it's going to be, I don't know if you can see specks of like, it's going to be white like that. And then you use food color to color it. I'm sure you know that. Sorry if I sound like I don't want to sound that I'm educating you about the color, but then you use gel color to color your icing to any color you'd like. Okay. So here is my this is a piping bag that I've, you can see this is not really straight, it was more marbled. So I put some light blue royal icing, this is stiff royal icing, into a bowl, and I just very loosely kind of mixed in white. Okay, and I've got my bag fitted with, this is a 101 piping tip, which is a pedal tip. It's great for so many different flowers. So if you're just starting out and don't have any pedal tips to make flowers, I would say go with a pedal tip. Get different sizes. You can use it with buttercream also. It works for roses. You can make different kind of daisies with it. You can make pansy flowers with it. You could even make um, I think sunflowers you could make with it if you use it like different. No, not
Mhm.
well, yeah, sunflowers. Yeah, you can make it. Well, no, not
And
sunflowers.
and
Daisy flower.
it
What
makes
else?
a great ruffle.
Ruffle. You can also make leaves with it, and I'll show you how to do the leaves today also with
Hello,
this
Monique.
tool tip. So here is my flower nail, and as you know, or if you don't know, hydrangeas are four petal flowers. I'm making these tiny, so I don't really need a big piece of parchment. But let me see. I also need just a second. I forgot something. Okay. I also need some white. Now the centers of these flowers. Okay, Bake Deco is having a sale, 15% off. Excellent, guys. Jump on it. Food color is always good to have. So now, as I said, hydrangea flowers are four petal flowers. I also have a little towel here on hand. I'm going to use it to clean the tip. So you want to hold the piping bag.
And
with
just to show you where you are, you're very at the top there. If you want to just go down a little bit. There.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one petal. Two petals. Now making this a math class. So 4 petals, super easy. Now you can make the center. I don't know, I couldn't make it out. The center of hydrangea flowers, they actually vary. I'm doing it white. You can also do a little yellow and then also a little green, or you could also do blue, maybe a slightly different shade of blue. So you want to have the petal tip.
That's
Why
right,
do you
Sally.
want the petal tip? You can see petal tip is a narrow part and a wide part. So you want to have the narrow part facing out. That means that the petal is going to be thin on the outside, and then the thick end should be facing in. Now my design, it's using about 10 flowers. You could use more. So you're gonna make, you can make different colors. And here I made a bunch of different colors. I made pink. I also used purple and things like that. Now this is a stiff consistency because you want the petals to hold its shape. If I was to use runny icing, like here I have, this is about 15 seconds. So if I was to use 15-second consistency, let me just quickly show you. Well, I don't have it in my but you see, like it's kind of blending. You see, it's going to become one blob. So if I was to use runny icing, this is not going to happen. The petals are not going to happen.
So
it will just become one blob.
Angie's saying she's tried and she can't get it right. Catherine also, can you make it as like just do one as like a pre-K class?
I'm sorry?
Like a pre-K class, like really the beginner, like go.
Okay, so you see, so the petal tip, okay, wide part, narrow part. I'm holding it like this in my hand.
101.
This is a 101. You can use this with any number of different tips. I'm using it like this. I'm holding the piping bag like this, okay? Now, depending, like now we are making flowers that petals are flat, kind of flat. So they are almost parallel to the flower nail. They are not, standing up. It's not a ruffle like this or anything like that. Okay.
Well, the other thing that's great though is that it's less susceptible to breakage because when you have a very raised petal, your cookie petals, like the icing petals, can really like crack off.
And you can see you often read like the angle, right? You hold it at 45-degree angle or something like that. It just refers to the angle. When I'm holding it like this, it refers to the angle between the surface of your flower nail and your piping bag. Okay, so this is probably around 45, maybe even less, depending on, like, if you want it to be flatter, you can hold it like that and have it really, really flat. And again, the white part is touching the center, okay? And the narrow part is facing out. So this is the first petal. You can see the narrow part is making the end of the petal really thin, and this is the thick part. So you want the center to be thicker than the outer edge.
The movement is basically a C, right? It's a C movement you're doing.
Yes, yes. I'm doing it, yes, full C. And I'm piping, and you can see I'm turning the flower nail. The flower nail has a long stem here. It's great to have. If you don't have a flower nail, you can use
The thermometer?
Thermometer, but it can get heavy. If you're doing this for hours and hours, it will get, yes, you can also use a template. You can use template. I figured with a 4 petal, you don't need a template, but you can also use templates that will be handy. I will have the templates in my coffee shop, hopefully on Friday. And I've used templates for other flowers, like sunflowers, or if you are using, if you're making cherry flowers, I do a template for that. Yes, it is important to move the flower nail as you pipe. Yes. What kind of flowers? This is royal icing, Brenda.
So,
Blockages in a tiny. What do you mean? I don't understand.
so it's clogging up, Hen. So I think it maybe you have sugar particles in your powdered sugar, and you might need to like sift it before you make your icing, just to make sure you have no sugar particles in there.
Yeah, this is built on 101. Now I am making these tiny. Okay, I'm not making these big. They're quite tiny, so you can really control how big you want the petal to be.
Pre-made, oh, well, you could Google that. Look for pre-made royal icing flowers and whatever kind of flower you want. I think, what's that company that makes the cake kits? Deco Pack might have that. It's usually sold at bakery, like for bakeries, that type of pre-made stuff, but they're very expensive pre-made flowers.
Okay, so now I'm going to actually jump because I don't have much time, so I'm going
And
to.
don't worry, just take your time. I don't need a lot of time. Yes,
So
it is.
this is I don't know if you can tell, but this is probably one of my favorite shapes. Also, this is a cupcake shape. It's a universal shape, and I've had some cookies left over, so I decided to use it to make a flower pot. Yes, the narrow side is on the outside. Okay, let me just, okay, really quickly. So the narrow side, so I think that, so if you're making a rose, you see how narrow it is on the outside? I'm going to switch it up so the white part is on the outside. You see the difference? The inside was
You're
narrow.
gonna have to zoom in.
Oh, well.
There. Okay.
So the inside was made with the narrow part facing out, and then the outside petal was with the white parts facing up. You can see there is a difference. Okay, so you just, I mean, what are you going, what is it going to happen? So if you mess up, you start over and you test the different ways, and you'll figure it out at the end how is it supposed to go if you are having trouble with it.
Well, Melanie, the recipe is, her blog is right there on the screen. All her recipes are there.
Oh, so there is a pre-colored royal icing mix. Okay, so I guess mixes can come pre-colored. I didn't know that. I never really used any kind of mixes, so I'm not really aware of what's available there. So this is the cutter that I'm going to be using today to make my flower pot. And I also colored my royal icing, which I believe it's similar to terracotta. You can get a food color that is terracotta, but I couldn't find mine, so I just used orange and brown. Yes, you eat the evidence. Yes, always.
By the time you've made the 20th one,
yes,
you get the hang of it. It's quick that you get the hang of it.
Yes, it's pretty quick. And I still like, there are still times that when I start, I don't like first few flowers, and then, and what can sometimes happen that the icing can actually be too stiff. I do have some flowers that my icing, I think, was a little too stiff, and I'll show you how you can tell. First of all, it's really hard to pipe, and then the petals will have quite a rough edge.
Maybe your dough's a little too dry, Rose. Maybe you've added too much flour. That's what's coming to mind.
Yes. That happened to me last week. I told you about. I was making double batches always, and I did everything double but the butter. So I had like 6 cups of flour and only 1 cup of butter in there, so that wasn't good. So this is 15 seconds. So I'm going to put this aside, and we have to let that crust. So I'll just quickly show you the icing that was too stiff. You see, the petals are not as nice and smooth.
I kind of don't hate it though.
Yes, I know this is like a more of a like I guess natural look, but just to show, this is how you can tell that the icing coming out. See the difference between
Oh,
these two.
yes.
This one has smoother edge, and this is more rough. Okay,
So what
now
was your count on that terracotta?
15. So we're gonna have to let that crust, and then you can come back. And I'm just going to do a thick.
This is a very good cutter. You've made a basket full of apples with that cutter. Now you're
Yes,
making a
I
pot.
also made basket full of apples. Now I'm making yes, I made the Halloween stuff with it. I like it because of the shape of the swirl. Some of the cupcake cutters have a very specific, design on the top. This is a very forgiving. I also used it to make a Christmas tree, and also I used it to make Santa last year. This same cutter. It's a very very good cutter. I like it because and it chips well. Because if you have a swirl that is pointy, that point tends to break. Do you get a different royal icing base from the whisk attachment? I personally use a paddle. Yes, both are being used. Now, I guess that's a preference. I personally only use paddle. Although I have used, I suppose that will be a whisk with my handheld. What I find that it's faster with the handheld when I use the beaters. I feel like it's faster. It's beaten faster. I don't know. What do you use? Do you use?
I use the whisk. The thing is it introduces more air, the whisks, versus the paddles. And so sometimes like air is important because you want the volume, but it can cause like excessive air bubbles and stuff. So you don't want to over whisk it.
So now I'm going to set this aside, and this should be dry. Oops, you see a little.
Yes, your roughly petal, the petal that was kind of like you said with the stiff icing. Heather's saying it looked like a carnation petal.
Okay. Yes. Yes. That could be yes. So now this is dry or should be dry. Let's hope for the best.
So
And
what's the brand on that cutter? Is it an RM, you think? I think that's an RM.
this could be yeah. It's actually in my. I believe it's in my
Amazon?
Amazon shop where I have all the cookie cutters that I really really love. What's the best food coloring to use for royal icing? Now I let you answer that. You have used several different brands. I personally use Americolor brand, Chefmaster, and Wilton, and Progel.
Really, I think that like Americolor and Chef Master and Progel are all equally quality products. The only kind of brand that I've had issues with is Wilton. I've had bleeding with their ice with their food gel, and also it
Yeah.
seems to like get all yucky in the container. Like it doesn't stay a nice consistency after like a short, like it almost spoils. Like it has a short shelf life. It's not my favorite. That I'd skip, but if you can, the Chef Master.
They actually have the colors. I don't know what it's called now because they came out with a line of food colors that are in small bottles, squeeze bottles,
Mm,
and those are more. They are yeah, I do like those, and they have certain colors that I like. I wouldn't use the red and black. and
Yeah.
purple. Like, I wouldn't use those colors from that brand, but
And recently I've started using powdered food color by Drip Color. And you guys, if you want to pop in your favorite food color brand, we always love to hear from you guys. Let us know. Her Amazon store, if you go and Google and write Haniela's Amazon shop, it'll take you to it. And that's how you spell her handle. And I think also if you go on her blog, is there a link to your Amazon on your blog?
no, but there is a link, direct link in my Instagram.
Yeah.
If you go into my Instagram, there is a link there, and then there's like a lot of different links to the Amazon store, or also to cookie decorating kits that I have available,
Thank
and
you.
other links. So now, before I jump into adding the flowers, I'm going to add the leaf. Now, hydrangea flowers, they have, now you could pipe the leaf with flat icing, but I decided, well, it depends on the project, I would say. I guess yes.
Keep going.
Okay. So like I mentioned, you could make flowers also. Now, this is a paper towel, or here I have a parchment here.
Yes, she means the color right. Yeah.
And I'm using, this is a flower nail, a flower, petal tip 101. So that's how you can make a leaf. You could also make these on a leaf flower nail and just let these dry and just pop them. Um,
On your cookies.
yes. Again, the narrow part of the petal tip is facing out, and the white part is facing in. Like the white part is this, and it's facing. You see, it's facing. It's going towards my arm, and then the narrow part is facing out. And you can make these as long as you want. And this is a technique that you could use also um, with buttercream.
Mm-hmm. Mia, if you look on the screen there, there's her blog. She has her recipes there. If you want to check out her recipes.
This is pretty stiff also because it's not going anywhere. You see, it's not going down. It's staying where I'm putting it. If it was runny, it wouldn't hold its shape. So you need to make sure that your icing is on a thicker side. It should be pretty thick.
It's called Drip Color, Angie.
Okay.
What are you adding to the icing? Mary Jean, are you talking about the texture to the pot that she did?
So I just added the same icing I used for this section. It was about 20 seconds or so. And I just added that onto the dry icing. I brushed it on, and then I used a soft round brush to create texture. And then I added some white for the highlight. And now you just need to determine where you want your leaf. So I'm going to turn this down because the flowers are going to be here. So I assume the leaf is going to peeking out maybe somewhere here or here. I just wanted to have some green scenery there. Now this is your topic. I don't think it's the same.
Really? I thought it was kind of the same. I mean, it's made with potato starch. They call it rice paper. It's like it's different than a frosting sheet. It's like it tends to snap when it dries. They get cracked, like they'll crack.
So I'm going to start piping my leaf on the cookie part, and then I'm going to scrape that off. Okay. So I'm going back and forth. Basically, I'm making kind of like ruffles. I'm going to connect it here. The only thing about this, when you're doing it on a cookie, it's your wrist kind of get a bit of a workout. So if you are suffering with some kind of wrist problem, I would then recommend maybe using a traditional leaf tip.
Hi, Joseph.
Hello, Joseph. I'm going to add another one here, maybe slightly smaller or bigger. Let's see.
Really, Kim? Well, that's annoying. Have you tried the kitchen sink black for your making your black? Okay. See, June is answering you there, Kim. I remember you did this leaf on some strawberry cookies that looked very nice.
Strawberry, and also this is a leaf for the pansies.
Ah, yes, yes.
Pansies, you can use that. I did use slightly smaller piping tip. I did use 101S, which I don't have here with me, of course. Oh, no, hold on.
Oh,
Here it is. Do I have 101S? I wanted to show you. Here it is. This is 101S. This is I believe this is the smallest of the pedal tips. 101S. Maybe your PME has smaller. This is Wilton. And I also use these for the leaves and other flowers. But if you're making leaves with this is going to produce quite small. You know, they're tiny. So now I'm going to scrape this off. And I'm using, this is, I think Borderlands Bakery has their own brand of these reusable cellulose, I think they are made from. So I picked this up at the local store and they are really great. Now we're going to add the flowers. So I've got my flowers here. Hopefully I pick up the ones I didn't decorate right now. So once these are dry, you can just remove them from the parchment. The only thing that I don't like when you are adding your parchment onto the flower nail, I like to use royal icing. You can use double-sided tape, but it never really 100% works for me. It's either not too sticky or it's too sticky and then it messes up the flower when I'm trying to remove it. So with that, you're also adding some royal icing on the back side there. So you see a little bit of icing here as it dries and you're trying to remove it. It breaks that icing on that side, so it makes a little bit of mess, okay? So you have to keep that in mind. So I've got my flowers here. Let me just get some. Okay. I'm gonna add more color to it so we have a little mix. Okay. And now to decorate the bottom, I decided to just use some blue and oh yeah, Mary. I think we could attest to it that there are so many different leaf tips, right? You have from PME, you've gotten some nice small tips. There are leaf tips, but this is a alternative. If you don't have a leaf tip and you want to create a different look, you can use a petal tip.
well, I think another option too is if you're using 2 shades of green, you could do a variety of leaves if you're doing a bouquet, right? Like that's pretty too.
Yes. And if you don't have either, you can always cut a V shape into your piping bag.
Yeah.
I've done that. I love doing that, especially since I don't have a super small leaf tip like Mar has.
PME makes a really small, if you want a piping tip that's very small for leaf.
Here we go. I don't want to add too much icing because as we are going to add some weight on this, the flowers can, the icing, because it's fluid, it can kind of fall off. How do I know that? Because it happened. So if you add too much and then you pile all your flowers on there, it can cause problems. So now I'm just going to, this is just going to be a background. Most of this is going to be covered, but in case some of it is peeking out, I wanted to have some floral design in there.
So Kim, June is answering you with regards to that black food color. He's saying to put it in a bowl with a bit of water to activate it.
Now, when we talk about small bowls, I love using silicone bowls. No, don't you think like they come in such?
You just got some on the
Yeah.
weekend.
When did you get them?
I went to the Winners and they had these little a little set of 6 of these little ones. They look like cupcake liners and they are for snacks like dip on it said it's like for dip and stuff on your plate, you know? But they were perfect. So I picked them up. And I like the little silicone for the cookies.
This one is going to sink in a little bit there. I'm just kind of hiding the leaf. And I'm just very gently pressing them in. I'm not really like, I'm not even like doing anything because the weight of it, it's going to.
So when did you make the flowers? Yesterday?
No, today.
Oh, this morning? Okay.
Yes.
They're already that dry.
Yes.
Did you put them in anything or they just air dried?
No, they're very thin. You see how thin they are. So these are not like roses may take a little longer, but
Yeah, they have more juiciness in the middle, right? The rose.
yes, yes, juiciness. So this could be it. I wouldn't add any more. Now, if you wanted to, really, like I would let it dry and then maybe add some leaf detail. But I don't think you have to if you are in a hurry. Let me just get one more here because this flower is going to eventually sink in. So I'm just going to add one more on top here. Yeah, I just have to add a little more icing on the back. Okay, oops. Oopsie.
So if you wanted to make a large batch of cookies with this, well, you just do a few flowers every night, a little, you know, and then you could get them done.
But they don't take, I mean, it's very real. I find flower making very relaxing, I have to say. It just, time just flows. And if you have a good music in the background, it's really, you know. And this is one that dried, and I overloaded this one with icing. So this flower actually fell off because it kind of became like lava, you know, or a river. Because if you add too much, so you want to kind of stay away from it. Plus, if you add too much, then there is too much icing. You have all these flowers, so kind of a little proportion doesn't hurt anyone. So that's my project for today. So I don't know. Should I add some green here? Maybe I'll add a few more leaves here later.
You see, this is when the coupler comes in somewhat handy, because then you can kind of come in and switch out your tip if you want to do because the leaf tip does work well to insert little.
Yes, the leaf tip. Yeah, that's why I was thinking like if you wanted to, because ideally you want to place the flowers on the wet icing because I find like it creates more of a more realistic look. So you could make some of these beforehand and have them dry and then insert them in. Because if you're doing it with the petal tip, like Mari is saying, you can't really insert the petal tip. I mean, it's kind of very difficult, right? So the leaf tip, traditional leaf tip, has a point, so you're able to insert that in and create the leaf.
Yeah, it's just a little bit like easier kind of for that particular.
Yeah. And I do have a honey bun. I actually do have a coupler here.
Oh, look at you!
I just realized. Oh, let me get back at her. Oh, okay.
What's the size of that cutter? Is it 3.5, something like that?
I would say it's about 3.5. Yes.
Yeah.
I would say.
So it's a good size. It's not like one of those giant cookies, but it's.
Hold on. This is okay. This is 9 inches. This is 9 centimeters across and 8. So it's an overall 3.5, I think, or something around there, maybe. Yes.
Hello, Chantal.
Oh, yes, I felt organized today, June. I have to say.
Hi, Gwen. Hello. Okay, so guys, yes.
So now it's your turn. I'm going to remove myself and do a little camera dance here.
So yesterday, guys, I got my 3rd shot. So today, I will confess I'm mediocre feeling today. So I'm keeping it simple, and I'm just gonna, of course, my camera's gonna give me a problem. Of course. Look at this. Why is it doing that?
Oh, I think you need to remove yourself and come back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, remove the camera and then come back.
All right, let's see.
Oh, let me turn this off.
Yeah, so yesterday I went and got my third shot, and I had gotten Pfizer. They gave me Moderna yesterday, and today just everything hurts. I didn't have a good sleep because my arm obviously is very sore. So
I'm
today's
soon. Okay, I don't need to be on a big screen.
audio. I'm gonna get there, guys.
Okay, so those of you who are just joining us, I just finished making, let me just quickly show you these cookies. These are hydrangea cookies in the flower pot, and I used a cupcake cutter. And now Mar is back. Excellent. Now we'll just, it's a little out of zoom.
Yeah, that's what I'm fixing. Okay.
Okay.
No, it's still not right. Hold on. That looks okay. You can
Yeah,
see.
it's pretty sharp. Just
Hey, is it blurry? It's me, ain't it?
It's a little blurry. I can tell by the rolling pin and your fondant tool. It's
Let's
out
go
of
with the autofocus. Why is it? Why? Things cannot be easy.
Never. So guys, Mara is just trying to figure out her situation with the camera.
It does it on its own.
She's going to decorate. I'll show you how to do some. Valentine's Day cookies.
Oh, this
and
is.
You can always watch previous lives in our. Now I would say it's an excessive gallery of lives because this is going to be. We started. Can you believe it? It's going to be 2 years? We started 2 years ago, I think in April, at the beginning of the big pandemic.
Yeah.
So 2 years we've been at it, and last year we've been doing lives every week twice. So we have a live on Tuesday and also on Friday. And this Friday, Amber of Sweet M's is joining us.
She'll be back
She'll be back on Friday. I think it's January 28th, if I'm correct. So you can guys join us at our usual time at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is a New York time. And I don't know what time is it where you guys are watching?
So I'm gonna muscle through. So listen, guys, today I first of all, I got this stuff at AliExpress, so there's no way you're gonna get it in time if you were to order it. But I had shown at Christmas and Halloween some fondant. These are like embossing plates. Why is this a problem today? Anyway, and so I had gotten these embossing plates, and they are coming for almost any occasion. And so this is Valentine's Day, but a lot of them would work also for a wedding.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, this would definitely work for a wedding and Mother's Day also. I don't see like we can see what it says love. It was a little better before.
Annoying me.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, there. Maybe that's not too bad. Anyway, so it's yes, that's right. That is correct. It is.
Yes, you absolutely got it.
So the thing about these embossing plaques, a lot of them come with a matching cutter to go with it. The Cupid did not, but the Love does, and they have a few different actual like bridal ones. Like, I don't even know what's happening right now. But anyway, so
it's because I was asking Kim, I was trying to get you.
So the thing you want to think about is obviously when you're cutting the fondant, it has to fit perfectly on the cookie. And I'm sorry, guys, for my focus issues. I mean, I don't know. Every week it has to be a different thing, you know? And so you want to have a cookie that doesn't expand too much so that you have a good fit with your fondant, because obviously the fondant is not going to expand, right? And so here for this one, I use actually I use a little cookie cutter to like do a little impression of the heart there. You can see it.
Would it? I'm sorry. Would it be that it's the setting that you used for the it's being?
Oh, you could be very correct. That could be very. You could be not that.
Oh, finally, I had a light.
Thank you very much. I was going crazy.
Good, good.
Thank you.
I'm glad that it worked.
Oh gosh. Thank you, Han. Okay, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm like, what is wrong with me? So there it is. Okay, now you can see it. So there. I apologize, guys. So yeah, so you're using the plex. So let's make a cookie. Enough rambling. I'm like, so yeah, yesterday I went and did that. I got my third shot, and today, well, my
well, now you're feeling a little better though, because it's in focus. Yes, teamwork.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, we are a good team. Me and Han have been friends now for so many years. Like we just kind of sometimes even like finish each other's craziness, I want to say.
Yes.
You know, I mean, she's younger than me, but I'm going to be 50 this year. And I have to say, it's nice to have, and I'm sure many of you have this friend that you can be ridiculous with. Because
yes, or we call and we work and we don't talk. That's awesome, no? I think you know what I mean. Like we will sometimes we'll call and then we get busy working, but we're still on the call.
Yes. So okay, let's get to business. So this fondant, you don't want a fondant that's very sticky because it's going to be very hard to get it out of the
Hold on. Did you say you want a fondant that is very sticky?
No, not sticky.
Okay, so, not sticky. You don't want to. Okay.
Yeah, even like a fondant that's a bit old. Like when I say that, I don't mean like stuff you know, but like not super fresh, you know, because it tends to be even more, I find, difficult to pull out of there. It's even better like the not so fresh fondant when you're making fondant decorations and things like that. So now I see that it didn't stick. It's actually jumping out and buckling in the mold. And you can see what it looks like. You see, it did an ugly impression. So it can be.
So is there a way to age fondant without aging it to the point where you can eat it?
I think if you just like air it a little bit, you know, like.
So it like loses some of the moisture and it's more like.
Yeah, a little bit, like so that it's not so fresh. Because then it's like so sticky, and some brands are actually stickier than others. My favorite brand is Satin Ice. I find that it's not so sticky. So I'm using these are rolling guides, and I'm using the thicker like ones. They're the thickness of the actual like embossing.
Zoom out a little bit. Yes. Fantastic.
And then I'm using my thin one to get the fondant thickness.
And I see you also have your Canada cornstarch.
I do have my cornstarch there. And that just helps sometimes.
Cornstarch with fondant, right? You use it too, so it doesn't stick.
And you can see there it popped right out. And then you use the same cutter that you use for the cookie. Now, you don't have to buy the embossing plaque. You can just buy the cookie cutter. The cutters are dirt cheap. I mean, like $2. And you could, you know, make a love cookie, which is always cute to have with different, you know, if you're doing the bridal stuff or whatever. And then here's the cookie. And I just add water to the back of the fondant to stick it.
There was a question how to add fondant. How do you, yes, Heather, how do you add the fondant to the cookie? So Marlon is using just the water, right?
Yeah, I just use water because it like activates the sugar in the fondant, and then I just kind of put it on, and it sticks plenty. I don't
asking between fondant and royal icing, which one is the best to decorate the cookies with?
Well, I would say that it's all depending on your skill level and willingness to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want like fondant, you know, you're going to get a lot of molds. You need a lot of molds. Like if you look up, there are creators on Instagram, you'll see the fondant cookies. Like you need molds for everything. They have molds for the flowers, the leaves, the borders, like
Lettering. Yes.
everything. Whereas with royal icing, well, everything comes out of your piping tip. You're doing the border with your piping tips. You're doing the flowers. You don't need all these molds. So it's a different.
Until you get an airbrush, then you're gonna get like stencils and different stencils and more stencils and stencil cutting machine. So
I compare fondant decoration to card making, like as a craft, you know, like it's more kind of using tools, whereas the royal icing, you're more like drawing and it's more it's thick, Mary Jean. It's thick. It's not what I would normally do, but right now I'm in the live and I'm just kind of doing it.
I think I would say fondant, like if you're struggling with piping, meaning like if you have pain, if you really like your health is not allowing you to pipe, fondant would be a good option. I find it fast to create the base because you're just rolling it out, you're cutting it out, and you don't have to fly, you know.
Yeah,
I've seen people use combination. You can also make fondant decorations to put on the top. So
I like to use like fondant to make little bows, to make little flowers, but depending on your climate, the fondant decorations, I got a hair in it from my brush there for the cornstarch. It can melt.
Yes, I do agree that you need steady hand with, like I said, like it really depends on what you prefer. You know, like some people don't like, they hate the taste of, I mean, I don't like to use the word hate, but they dislike the taste of fondant. So then they go with royal icing because they can flavor it any way what they want. But nowadays fondant comes in so many different flavors and you can make your own also.
And some people hate royal icing. So
yeah, people hate, so it's
taste of royal icing.
I think it also like if you are in a pinch, you can create really fast like cookies fast with fondant. You could do some marbled fondant, which would be really neat. I should do that.
The
Like
thing that happens though,
you cut it out.
The thing that happens when you color your fondant, your scraps are tougher to use. They're tougher to use. So I'm just going to zoom in so you guys can see. Look at that impression these plaques do.
Oh, beautiful.
It really, so now I can look with my heart cutter. Here, let me get just, so I can kind of align the Cupid in there. And I like to work on a silicone mat when I work in fondant because then I can pick it up to get it off. You know, sometimes it can get like really stuck to your work surface. So this way I can kind of like make sure, you know. And so here I'm just using a cookie cutter, but not the cutting side. I'm using the
oh, I see the not so sharp, the dull side.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives a fatter kind of thing. And then I got these here. This is like a little like letter press thing. And then you can kind of add, like you can add a name, but I just wrote love.
Oh, that is so cute.
And so you can do all this before you put it on the cookie in case you screw up. Because at this point, if you screw up, well, you could just re-roll it.
Yes.
Yes. But you want to attach it to the cookie before it starts drying because your cookie can sometimes not be super flat. And so if this has started drying and then you want to attach it to your cookie, well, when you put on the cookie, you could actually get cracks in it. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie. Now, Ashley, do you pre-purchase your fondant or do you have a recipe you can share? And you like to use satin ice. There are so many different brands. Maybe folks, if you use fondant more frequently on cookies and you love it for whatever reason, maybe you can put it in the comments. I make marshmallow fondant. So I've been making that. The recipe is on the blog. You can make a small batch and try it. It comes together really, really quickly, but it doesn't behave as satin ice. I think satin ice is really nice for stamping, like Mari's. You have to let it air.
This is like an edge thing. So I'm just using it to kind of like press down.
This is used in cakes, folks.
Yes. Tool, right? And these are tools like these little fondant. They're sold. They cost nothing. You get like 10 or 12 tools on AliExpress. Really affordable. Those letters again, like $2 or I think maybe even 80 cents.
Oh, Heather, you don't like to use fondant, okay?
Well, the point is just to show you guys some ideas. If you don't like it, it's
I'm
fine.
like, no, no,
You
no. It
just
was in regards to my word hate that I
oh,
hate, you know.
so now I'm just you see like you can and
And
then
I
you can
think fondant is probably also more kid friendly because they
oh
can
yes.
really get in and they quickly do it. You know how kids are; their attention span is like 5 seconds. So this will give them beautiful
So
result.
now
You could then maybe you could airbrush the edges with pink.
you could, and then what you need this to kind of crust over. Now this is probably there's some markers. If you look at the tip, it's like fatter. This is Americolor, and this is more like a paintbrush. And you see, I've got it kind of on the side, and I'm using that to color the words.
So how long would you say you let it air dry?
Well, now not long, but normally you'd want because you don't want the fondant to get dented as you're coloring it. So
Oh
that's
yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, I agree. I too make marshmallow fondant, and I make a small batch and makes just enough to do few things, and I do like it quite a bit. And if I need to, I make a quick gum paste out of it with
well,
powder.
as a person, like for me, like if I'm making cookies for an occasion myself, I'm for sure going to use royal icing. But I try, as Han does too, to show you guys different things and to show you what's out there, what's available, so that you guys can be informed and know maybe royal icing isn't working for you. You're frustrated. You're looking for an alternative. This is an alternative, and that's all we're trying to do is show you guys some options out there that exist so that you can have a successful and
I think
enjoyable
this is totally a
experience.
wedding. Like this is, wedding. It's such a universal.
And so here, this one here is a bit drier. And then I have these paintbrushes that are like this is the drip color, and you can come in, you see, and do the
We do have a nice question here, and I have to say that you are watching the inventor of paint your own cookies. Marlon she invented the paint your own cookie, right?
yes, that's actually I invented that. My
She
gosh,
invented it years ago, and now everybody is doing it. Businesses are doing it.
now. Hmm.
So she has a lot of tutorials on the subject, how to they are several years old, right? They're I don't know if
Yes.
do you have them in your Amazon or YouTube
No, they're
or
on YouTube. Here I can see my paintbrush is actually denting the fondant. So you really have to wait a couple of hours for this. And I'm just wanting to do the little
so
overlap.
the Brenda is asking where did you purchase the fondant stencil?
These here, these embossing plaques are from AliExpress. If you buy them locally, like there's some on Etsy, they're crazy expensive. So if you want to stock up and get a few of them, like AliExpress is the more affordable route. I don't know if they're manufactured, the ones on Etsy in North America, but a lot of the tools, they're sold by American stores, but they're all purchased from China and marked up. So most of the stuff, like I mean, I remember at some point somebody said, "Oh, the airbrush was made in the USA," but really the parts were all Chinese, and then in the States they put it in a box. It's not made in America when it
Yeah,
was.
assembled. Here they have to actually by law state that it was assembled somewhere. It has to state. I believe
It,
that's what it.
it does it does here like in the United States as well, but the language is very tricky. It's like it's another
Yeah.
phrase.
Mhm.
Yes, my claim to fame. So that's it. So it's just a different decorating option. If you want to look back at the previous lives, I did a Christmas version where I used the airbrush to color it and everything. So you can see how to color them if you want to color them. But I do like using the airbrush because then I don't have little clumps of leftover. Because you know,
Yeah.
you have all these little clumps of leftover different colored fondant, which to me always ends up in the garbage at the end of the right because it's like, oh, when am I going to use this little?
If you let it dries, it gets hard, and it's sometimes when it gets too like when it gets hard, I will microwave it.
Oh yes,
Thank you,
that's
Norma. I just want to say quickly because I didn't want you to know that I didn't want you to think I didn't acknowledge your comment. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yes, you can use a stencil with fondant, absolutely.
yeah, and you can. There's a lot of different things. Like there's embossing, like just for the background to have a texture,
Love it.
or at least a cookie.
I'm laughing because it's great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's build one. Maybe guys, if it snows a lot, maybe you can make
Oh
it.
yes, that's a good
Oh,
idea.
that
That's a
would
good
be
idea. I like
awesome.
that idea.
That would be awesome. I would love that. Does the fondant stay soft on a cookie?
I would, I mean, it stays as like fondant,
It's
probably
still
softer
soft.
than dry
I think
royal
it's
icing.
soft. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
No, it's fine. I said it's probably softer than dry royal icing.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I absolutely, absolutely. I think absolutely. Unless obviously you leave, in a month it will be dry, but I think it's a lot softer.
I don't know. Have I done it for a live?
You have done it for a live, but I think. Who wants to see paint your own cookie live cookie decorating with Mar? Please give us a thumbs up, or I don't know, high five, whatever in the comments. So I think you'll have to make another one. I think Easter would be
Thanks,
great.
Angie.
Easter, you need to make one for. I should make one. I've never made one. You want to show me how you do it, and I'll join you during the
I
live.
actually have a kit in Global Belly for Easter eggs for the
Oh
painted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
for those of you who don't know what Global Belly is, because we did mention Global Belly a few times during today's live, Global Belly is a site where we have our own shops, and you can put Global Belly Montreal Confections or Global Belly Hanielas, and our shops will come up. And each of us has different cookie decorating kits. They come up with everything that you need to create your cookies. So Mar has Easter is coming up, and I also have some Easter stuff there. So one of your Easter ones is the paint your own cookie.
yeah, that's one of them. So it has like
Maybe you can do that in next live. Maybe you can do that one, the exact one that you have in the Global Belly, and then guys can.
that particular kit, just because it's for people that don't decorate, it comes with markers. So you can just color instead of making the paint palette. That kit comes with markers. So it's kind of a mess-free activity for Easter.
How did we meet? Do I really want to expose that story?
Well, it's not really top secret. You can tell it. We're over time, but for anybody who wants to hear, go ahead.
I mean, it was very dramatic. No, you don't remember?
Well, I remember that, yes, there was but before
We
that,
met on Flickr. Flickr. I think Flickr still exists. Flickr was like a grandfather or great grandfather of Instagram, and so we met on Flickr in one of the groups. We were just communicating with each other by liking pictures and stuff, right?
so it was basically like there you could post just like on Instagram your creation. So the people who were making cookies were posting their photos, and inevitably you're looking for that, and so you meet the people that are doing what you're doing, and it's kind of an interesting way to meet people and make friends, and so vice
And yeah,
versa.
there are also different groups, like groups, and we were, I guess, in a group, and we just connected that way. And then you wrote me a lovely, lovely note,
Yeah.
and yeah, we
like
were friends.
like not to get into the details, but like most online groups, there was some drama.
There was some drama, yes, and yes, I was a bit bullied, and she emailed me, and that's how it kind of.
Yes.
I don't think we communicated right off then, but I don't know. You then reached out to me, and
Yeah,
I guess
that's it. And I mean, it's difficult to make friends in person, so it's hard
in,
online too.
I think 2008 it was 2008 when we first connected, and then later 2013 or 12, and rest.
And we have physically met in
Yeah,
person on
we have met, yeah, in
two
person.
occasions.
I have a proof on Instagram. Go look for the
Yes,
picture.
but that's the story. And so yeah, and we talk almost every day,
Yes.
pretty much. So that's it, guys. Very exciting stuff.
So we are going to be back again. We'll be back on Friday. Yes, we are no drama. But
Global Belly and coffee is not the same. Coffee
no.
digital purchases, coffee are physical products. So that's the difference. Disposable, I think they'd be the same. I don't think it's the difference between, yeah. Yes, life is already complicated enough. Let's keep it simple.
Yes.
That's how I like it. Yes, that's it. So thanks everybody for joining us today. We'll be back on Tuesday again.
Friday, darling. Friday.
Oh, Friday.
Today's Tuesday. It's fine. You're excused. It's Tuesday. Although everybody wishes it was Friday, right, guys? So we'll be back on Friday. Amber of Sweet Dance is also going to join us. So don't forget to mark your calendars and clock, whatever, however you are getting notified. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time, will be back on YouTube and Facebook.
I blame it on my vaccine. I don't know what's happening. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.